Welcome to Hartford's Focus on Community. Today we have Dr. Buck Blodgett in the studio to talk with us about the Love is Greater Than Hate project. Welcome back.
Thank you, Sally. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you traveling back here. Love is Greater Than Hate project started 10 years ago.
Yep, almost 11 now.
Almost 11, you're right. And this has been a project of love for you. And we need to let our viewers know how this started. Love is Greater Than Hate.
Yeah, it started with hate. It started with an act of hate, a violent act. We lost my daughter. Jessie was 19. She was raped and murdered in our home by a friend on a Monday morning. He waited for me and Joy to go to work, and he came in. He was welcome in our home, and he surprised Jessie in her sleep. And, but really what I came to talk about today is not the horrible tragedy that happened, but what happened next with the birth of the way our community responded to the darkness.
There were over 500 people that attended a candlelight vigil for her, and it truly has a national impact. Love is Greater Than Hate project. And let's talk about shortly after this tragedy of violence, this started to evolve. This started to manifest, if you will, in your mind. What can I do? What I got to do something. I'm at a loss.
I couldn't not do something. I had to do something.
Okay, and so the Love is Greater Than Hate project started here. And where, from those original beginnings, did you see this having an impact on people that have either had violent acts against them, but also the perpetrator, which was very interesting to me when you started this?
We've had impacts in layers, locally and globally. Jessie's story was on Dateline right after the trial ended, and it's been seen over and over and over again by many tens of millions of people on 5 continents. I mean, we get messages from New Zealand and Australia and Ireland and Brazil and all over the world. Now, that's just somebody watching a show, but being impacted enough to find us on Facebook and reach out with a message to me, pretty amazing. Many stories of local impact. We do live programs and impact the people who come. So we do a lot of different things, but I don't want to get ahead of myself in your questions.
Right. So when you first started this Love is Greater Than Hate project, again, it stemmed from your own daughter's tragedy. What was your thought then? And you were just you. Who did you reach out to get some help to start this, and are they still involved?
My first thought after the shock and the pain and the grief was the big event that happened was we found out it was Dan, and we didn't react with hate because he was in our home the day after he did it, before anybody knew he did it. He was part of her friend circle, and all of her friends were sacred to us now, and we responded with love to everybody, including him. When we found out it was him, it was like we were concerned for him. I started to see the community's reaction to our reaction, and that was the first powerful thing that happened before the project was even born, the forgiveness piece. I didn't even distinguish it at first, but it became a conscious choice. And then it grew into a project. At Jessie's funeral 5 days after the murder, I said, love is greater than hate. Didn't mean to say that. At the vigil that we'll talk about in a second, a month later, 500 people showed up, and there were signs everywhere that said love is greater than hate. Those words had made their way all over town, and we started to appreciate that it was having impact, that we could answer hate with love, that we could try to do something to heal.
Meaning you and Joy, your wife.
Joy doesn't love the project because she's a mom who gets re-triggered about her daughter's murder every single time there's a reminder.
Okay.
But me, I had to do something.
Right.
And this project is it.
Yeah, so who helped you make
Jessie's
this?
friends were the first ones to help.
Okay.
Ian, one of her best friends, built a website for us.
Nice.
Some of the latest help we've gotten is there's a gentleman named Mr. Ballin on YouTube, who I believe is one of the top 5 YouTubers on the planet. And his organization, he watched Dateline a little over a year ago. And then at the same time he was starting, because he hit the jackpot on YouTube, he created his own foundation, and he now supports about 25 nonprofits all over the country for victims of violence, and we're one of them. We've had, I couldn't possibly tell you in a short interview the support and the partnerships we're developing locally and nationally, but everybody wants to presence love and end violence.
So the website really holds a plethora of information as well as your Facebook page. And let's talk about what is the website address.
ligth.org. It's not light, that's L-I-G-H-T. Your device might autocorrect. It's short for Love is Greater Than Hate, ligth.org.
Okay. And the symbol that you came up with, you're using the greater symbol than actually the word. And was that something that just manifested inside of you? Like, how can I get this out there?
Yeah, it wasn't me. It manifested itself. There was a couple of friends who created a sign that I saw on the pavilion in Westside Park at the vigil a month after the murder. And the huge sign, a volunteer made a beautiful sign, love, greater than symbol, love all capitals, greater than symbol, hate all smalls. That was the first seed planted in my brain for the name of this project.
Okay.
And then it exploded on social media that day after the vigil, and then on the 10 o'clock news all over Milwaukee, and I went to bed that night knowing that a project was trying to be born and I needed to do something.
So as people are on the website taking a look, you have quite a few impact statements on there. You have the listing of your board, and this really has evolved into a great nonprofit organization. But you also have on there the impact that you have when you are visiting perpetrators. What is that program doing for them?
That's my favorite part of Love is Greater Than Hate. If you would have told me, Sally, 11 years ago that you're going to go into prisons and love it, I'd be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And that's what's happened. Somebody came to one of our 5Ks. Autumn was high up in the Wisconsin Department of Corrections. And there was another lady who made a connection for me too. Anyway, I did a message from Jesse, the PowerPoint that I just had to make because I had a story in me and I had to tell it. And next thing I knew, it's in the prison system. And I went to Prairie du Chien once, did a message from Jesse. In the AMA after, the Ask Me Anything, an inmate stands up. And I'd just driven halfway across the state.
Right.
And poured my heart out to this guy, the dad of a murdered girl, right? And he stands up. They don't always have the best filter. He says, I don't believe you. I don't believe you could forgive your daughter's killer. And if you could, I don't believe you would. And he says, I know if it was me, I know I couldn't. And even if I could, I wouldn't. And he sits down. Now I'm half his size. There's 50 inmates. There's 2 guards. It's low security, so I don't want to be a drama king. And I say, I get mad, and I say, dude, I didn't just drive halfway across this state today. Oh, and leave my grieving wife again to voluntarily walk into the prison you put yourself in. I was kind of rude. Mm-hmm. Sorry. For you to tell me that you can't and you won't. We need you. You're going to be 90% of our inmates will be out in 4 years, back in our communities. They are in our communities. I said, we need you. That was the beginning of the best conversation I've ever had about forgiveness. I go back to Prairie du Chien half a year later. They've created their own program. The programs are all, they come down from the top of the DOC. Prisons don't create their own. It was called the forgiveness class. Guess who the inmate leader of the forgiveness class at Prairie du Chien was? That guy. That's the kind of impact we're
That's
having.
amazing, quite amazing. And by you giving back, right, personally, has that helped you heal? Has that helped you stay alive and keep your mind moving forward?
Yes, and yes.
Okay.
All of those and more. And I didn't do it. People say forgiveness must be really healing for you, as if that's the reason I'm doing it. And it is. It's incredibly healing, but I don't do it for that. That's like a side effect. That's like a Benny.
Okay.
I really meant, I didn't forgive Dan for me. I forgave Dan for Dan. And for everyone, because I believe we need to presence forgiveness and love on the planet. Believe that with everything in me. But when I did it, I mean, it's incredibly healing for me, yes. And you ever get mad at somebody and you hold on to the resentment? I mean, the Mayo Clinic has a lot of fascinating research on forgiveness and the power it brings down our blood pressure, our heart
Sure.
rate, our immune function goes up. Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to be holding an event here in the city of Hartford on June 1st at a park here in the city. And it's Luminary Walk, again, a vigil. Let's talk about that day. It's coming up shortly here. It's going to be 5 hours long, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. All the information's on the website, but I have you here. Let's talk about what will be happening during those 5 hours.
Yeah, we had the original vigil a month after Jesse's murder 11 years ago. We're recreating it. Then we were remembering Jesse and trying to get the community to heal. Now we're remembering all victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. And we'll have 15 local partner organizations doing it with us. What we hope we have is another 500 people or 1,000 people or 1,500 people. We want everybody. Everybody matters, Sally. Everybody who's not there, their absence matters. Everybody who is there, their presence matters. We're trying for half a day to presence love, promote forgiveness, and to bring about the end of violence in our community. Call us crazy, call us pipe dreamers, but we got to start somewhere, and everybody matters.
Great. And for anybody that would like information, I know that you brought some flyers in today, and I appreciate that. And those will be around the community, correct?
Yes, they're all
Okay.
over the community.
Great.
And they're on our website.
Yes.
And there's a QR code on the flyer, and on our website you can find a QR code to register to
Okay.
walk with us.
And
Come walk with us.
absolutely. And on the website, there is contact information for you or your board. It's all right there, correct?
Yes.
So anybody can reach out to you. And that's what's amazing about this, is that you're available.
I'm only one person, we need everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm as available as I can be, and we do have a contact us. Everybody who writes us gets an answer now that we have Lindsay and she's got me organized. But come walk with us. You know, people coming together. We need to walk together. We need to volunteer together. We need to do both together. We need to presence love together in order to end violence.
Great. Well, I appreciate you coming in, sharing. And again, I appreciate all the impact you have on people's lives. So thank you for being here today.
Thanks for it. You've helped all along the way. I appreciate you. Thanks.
You're welcome. And to our viewers, as always, thank you for watching.